we're starting it over. We're starting it over. It's a little bit better. A little bit better. What's going on, everybody? How we doing today? It's a Sunday. All right. Sorry. Like I was literally just explaining to my wife before I went live. Like I was sitting here not 2 minutes ago talking to my wife about how annoying it is that when I try to stream lately, I just something always gets in the way. Today it was church, so it's not like it's you know like that's if something's gonna get in the way, I'd rather it be something like church or something like that. But like I get out of the gym and somebody wants to hang around and talk about nothing for like 5 to 10 minutes, and because of that, I have to rush home. I have to scarf down dinner, and like the first 5 to 10 minutes of my stream are just me like, "Hey guys, like it's so frustrating. It's so annoying. And today is one of those days, you know. All I do lately is stream. I do a video here and there, but like I'm mainly just streaming here right now, and I can't even do that effectively, you know. Oh man, but what's going on, Smart Moron? What's going on, David Hideo? How you doing? Holloway is a good addition to the lightweight division. Him trying to get revenge on the guy who knocked him out in another division is an interesting storyline. Talking about Ilya Topuria from the sound of it. Yeah, that is a good storyline for sure. You know, I'm interested to see what happens. Drinking this stuff right here. It looks gross, but it's basically liquid sugar. Like if you took sugar and mixed it with water and it wasn't a disgusting like taste, that's almost what it is. It's a Brazilian sugarcane thing. The church that I go to, it's a Catholic church, and they have Portuguese services. A dude from Portugal, a dude from Brazil, another dude who I would assume is from Brazil. They do Portuguese only services, depending on like the day and time and stuff like that. So, you know, they had this thing afterwards where you could, oh yeah, fuck, oh yeah, shit, I gotta. They had pastels, and they had again whatever drink this is, I forget what it's called. They had that at the end, and it's nice. I'm asking my wife to bring me my pastel, but you have to tell them how it is, Scott. You always got to tell them. You always got to tell them. Smart Moron says Bert drank his own piss on stream. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Oh, Bert. I saw him upset. I saw him upset that Alex B got paid like 13 grand or something like that. And it's like, it's confusing because I can remember getting paid from Fish Tank. You know, and they pay decently well. I mean, a lot better than a lot of places pay. What are you doing? Oh, huh. Figured you knew where they were. Anyway, um, yeah, he was complaining because Alex B got paid like 13 grand, but the thing is, like, wasn't wasn't he getting paid too? I'm sure he was getting tons of TTSs and fish toys and stuff like that. Like, was he not getting paid too? Or like I'm just confused by it, you know? Like, I understand he's a little bit upset he didn't get paid his 50 grand, even though he did 6 weeks of, you know, Hell House. Mind you, the easiest season of Hell House, mind you, the easiest season of Fish Tank, in my opinion. But I can still understand him being like, okay, like, I am the winner, like, where's my money? But there's a piece of it that's just like, yo, dude, like, are you not getting paid? There's people who wanted to stream on the site who couldn't, you know? I got curious because when I go to the site, there's a stream function that's available to me, and I was like, oh, that's weird. So I clicked on it, and I was auto denied. My shit was auto denied, and I think I hit up Mints not explicitly to ask, like, hey, like, can I stream? But I was just like curious what the deal with that was. And like he never got back to me. So it's like even if I wanted to stream on there, I get this weird feeling that I may not be welcome like that. So like it's just like, man, like stop showing your dick, stop drinking piss, and stop complaining when I know you're getting paid too. You know, it's just so it's so weird, man. You know, like I don't want to be the guy because like I speak candidly about fish tank, right? It's something that I've always done. But I know where the line is in terms of what I can say and what like I really can't say because it's just too far in terms of like behind the scenes stuff and stuff like that, you know? I know where the line is, but there's also another like wing of that where it's like I also don't want to be one of oh, are those them? Oh boy. Thank you, baby. Is there only one in here? Yeah, there's only one in here. Okay. Did you eat yours already? Oh, okay. What I was saying is like another line that I don't want to cross is being one of those guys who's like trying to police the like the former fish or like police the community or like be involved in the community in that way, right? I don't want to be someone who's like tweeting about what's going on with Fish Tank. I don't want to be someone who's like tweeting to be like, actually, I think this guy's full of shit. I think that guy's full of shit. I think, you know what? I agree with this guy. I don't want to be like, I don't want to be a Fish Tank T. That's not something, I'm not interested in that. It's not good. And as a man, I have more important things to do, you know? Um, Sorry, I'm just pulling something together right now. But like when it's someone as egregious as Bert, when it's something as egregious as Bert, it's like, man, what are you like? What are you doing, man? Like, come on, leave the shit behind. Um, I was like literally like forgetting what I was about to do. Um, you know what? I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here as well. I'm curious about those. There's a couple of shorts that I'm curious about. Oh yeah, and then I'm not even in the right spot. Oh, and I'm also dude like again like because I'm so behind schedule, if you will. I'm not even like I didn't even monetize this stream. I'm not gonna get my 2 cents from YouTube. I'm not gonna yeah. I'm sitting here. I'm getting like 3 cents per stream, you know. And Bert has the ability to make like thousands of dollars that he otherwise would not have made. And I have to listen to him on Twitter complain. It's just like, man, come on, dude. Like I don't have anything against you, Bert. I'm sure you're a nice guy, but it's like, dude, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear it, you know? Fucking again, I'm like I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I was trying to get to the live to the live studio so I could like keep an eye on that specifically, but I was having a hard time with it. Um Man. Mm. Um Hey Scott, did you see Sam on the Harland Williams podcast? Every stream that I've had since that podcast, somebody's asked me that. I didn't watch the podcast. I'm not a podcast guy. Um, and I really don't know what the context of Sam tipping over that table was. I know Harland was like, "Oh, I'd like to see you make a gorilla nest," and all that shit. I know some people are like, "Oh, but like Nick was like looking nervous and oh, dude, Harland like owned Sam." It's like I don't know anything about that. Um, and I think people just think too hard about stuff, you know. This is something that's always bugged me. And this is part of that parasocial thing that Sam has about him and anything Sam is involved in. It's part of that parasocial thing Um, where like people think they know what's best for something, where and I've seen people talk about me this way. I've seen people talk about Frank Hassel, Airsoft Fatty. I've seen people talk about them this way, where you can go to Reddit, you can go to Kiwi Farms. I didn't know there was a Kiwi Farms thread on Fish Tank. I guess it makes a little bit of sense, but somebody told me they were pissed at me, and I was like, Kiwi Farms knows who I am? What? Why? You know? Um, but like 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 when I'm trying to like come up with a good example, right? But let's say you're talking about the color of the walls, right? You'll have people who are in like the Reddit comments who are not a part of the show. They're just like fans of the show. They're people who will never even come close to being on the show, and because they aren't, they like to cope about it. They like to be like, why would I even want to be on the show? And it's like, well, you sure as fuck like to watch the thing. Um, they'll say actually, no, it's bad for the show if the walls are white because it's unimaginative and it doesn't show us the true nature of what the show is supposed to be. They could do something like red or orange or like a deep, deep blue, but they cannot do white because it's just going to bring the show down and it's not going to be good. It's just not going to be good for the show. As if they have any frame of reference to understand what is good or bad for the show, you know? Um, you see people do that with Fish Tank. You see people do that with like individuals, whether they're involved with Fish Tank or not. And it's not just a Sam Hyde, MDE, and everybody who's like in that little web thing. It's like for anybody. You know, you always have that guy who's like, well, actually, it would have been better if he did this instead, because if he did this, then they would have been able to capitalize on that. But they're idiots, so they didn't do that. You know? Um, and I think this is kind of one of those things. I got to be honest with you, you know, to finally get past the example that I'm trying to paint, the picture that I'm trying to paint for you. I think it's kind of one of those situations a little bit where I understand and these people are well meaning a lot of the time, but the issue is that there's a little bit too much ego on their end as to where they're going to be like, actually, Frank Hassel is bad for the show. Actually, you know what? Scott is bad for the show. Actually, Sam got mogged there because Harland used his left hand to touch his own penis instead of his right hand. And when Harland did that, that totally mogged Sam. Like you have those weird situations where it's like, what, you think you know, and you think you have any frame, any leg to stand on to be able to say like this or that about anybody. Of course not. You know, it's foolish. Overall, people are just overthinking it. I think that's just what Sam does when he goes on podcasts. Is there's always going to be some kind of like fucking around, and he is going to take it to a level that is beyond the level that you're able to take it to. If you are going to try and play his game of like trying to one up him via fucking around, you know, that's just what's going to happen. Um, uh, if you are known on the internet, Kiwi Farms is mad at you. I'm sure. I'm fucking sure. You know. Uh, Someone made a David Attenborough style analysis of it, and it's pretty funny. That does sound pretty funny. That does sound funny. Um, oh, sorry. Basically, Harland had a different type of humor, and Sam had a hard time rolling with it. Yeah, I mean, Harland is one of those. He's like um if Sam was born in 1974, he would have been a little bit like Harland Williams, maybe a little bit more edgy, but he would have been a Harland Williams, right? And that may sound weird, but like you got to understand that someone like Harland Williams is cut from the same cloth as Sam, and the things that he grew up with made him that way. Harland Williams didn't grow up with the internet. You know, Sam talks about having access to the internet when he was like real young, like 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. Harland Williams, when he was 10, 11, 12, however old, like he was probably fucking at the arcade or something like that, because that's the only place you had video games unless you wanted to play Pong. Um, Sam, being someone who was able to access the internet, and then he also was able to run into like Tim Heidecker's comedy and stuff like that. He was able to build off of that and also have his own little thing, right? Um, that's just like if I had to give an analysis of Harland Williams and Sam Hyde as like a pair, I would say like that's kind of like I could see why that would happen, because like even though you would think they would get along pretty well, they wouldn't, because there's that generational divide where like instead of this, at best there's kind of that there's some spaces that are not able to be filled. If it makes sense what I'm trying to say, I think that makes sense. That's the best way that I could put it on the fly. I think if Harland Williams was born 10 or 15 years later, he'd probably be Sam's contemporary in a way that he probably could have been the fifth member of MDE, if you will, but he's not. And this is something that I talk about a little bit, not to like veer off into like, well, I mean that's what we do here. We veer off into different topics, but not to completely veer off into a different topic. But like this is why I didn't have tons and tons of faith in Trump, even though I wanted him to win, because he definitely was the lesser of two evils, and I'll take the lesser of two evils if there isn't a better option. Excuse me. Um, but like Donald Trump grew up in a certain time where certain things were acceptable, and he is never going to veer from that. It's very rare that you have somebody who grows up in a system where they are treated well, where they have everything they need, and they don't live in fear. But when they learn some new stuff, they completely and totally pivot. They pivot 90 degrees, 180 degrees, however much, right? This is why you don't see a bunch of people who defect to North Korea, you know? There's actually been North Korean defectors, but it's usually like, uh-oh, I'm about to be in trouble because I did this thing and my CO caught me. He said to report to his office at 0900 tomorrow, and I'm in deep shit. I don't know. Maybe I should cross a DMZ and see what happens. Right? Like literally, the most famous North Korean defector, meaning America to North Korea, was James Dresnok, and there's an interesting documentary about him on on YouTube somewhere. I forget if it was National Geographic or the BBC that did it, but really cool documentary. I watch it every few years, and his sons are actually like North Korean citizens. They're like they're foreign diplomats because of the fact that they're white. It's really crazy story, but this is why you don't see people who defect to like North Korea, even people who become commies and stuff like that. They typically don't go to like a country like that. Um, what was I saying though? Yeah, you see again, I keep veering off in different directions. That's my fault. But the bottom line is, when you have somebody who was raised in a system that they are friendly to, or at the very least friendly enough as to where they don't feel like they have to defect to an enemy nation or something like that, they are going to develop a certain set of neuroses, these character traits about themselves, these patterns of thought, these patterns of action, of speech, etc., etc. This is why when you listen to say like what's his face, Ronald Reagan speak, he's a lot different from even someone like George Herbert Walker Bush or like Bill Clinton or something like that. Um, these people, it's very hard to break that. It's very hard to break that. And because of that, you're gonna be in a situation where like one guy just acts a certain way, and that's just the way he acts. You can't teach a dog new tricks. You can't teach a dog new tricks. Um, Not gonna lie, I'm kind of over people talking about Sam Hyde when he isn't the focus of the stream. Yeah, I mean, I understand. Sam's my boy. I got his back. Um, but also I don't keep an eye on every little thing the guy does, you know? That was like that was a surprise to me when he was in the same room as Jason Miller because I tried to set that up for Fish Tank. And at first he was comfortable with the idea of Jason coming out. I talked about that with him during the cell, like literally during a cell stream. I talked about that with him on stream. When I forget if it was just the cell or if Bitch Tank was running at the same time or whatever was going on. But then some shit changed, obviously, and because of that, when I offered like to hit him up and try and get them in touch with each other, um, it just didn't work out. So like that's the last time I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. I want to see this. But other than that, it's like I just see a post on Instagram or Twitter like, oh, Sam was on this podcast. That's cool. Anyway, moving on with my day. I got shit I gotta do. Fuck him. I ain't got all that time. You know. So the point that I'm making is like when somebody when somebody comes to me like, "Oh, dude, did you see what happened with Sam?" It's like probably not. Yeah, you know. I don't know what's happening with Brandon Buckingham all the time. I don't know what's happening with Harley Morenstein. I don't, any of these guys that I've met that I like still have nothing but good things to say about. It's like we got lives we got to live, dude. I ain't got time to keep up with that. Um, but yeah, I have a beer. I want to drink a little bit, but I want to finish this. Fuck it. Fuck it. Yeah. There we go. Um, I don't have a whole lot to talk about. Got to be honest with you. That's why this is just a chill stream. Um, and I don't know what's in the news. I don't, what else is in the news? What else is in the news, huh? Um, I'm trying to think because like throughout the week I think of stuff that I can talk about on these streams, but sometimes I think about it and I'm like, okay, we'll talk about that. And then I get on stream and I'm like, actually, no, this that's stupid. That's a bad idea. I shouldn't bother. I should not bother with that. That's a bad idea. And you know, it's annoying. It's annoying. But then there's times where I just straight up forget shit. Dane Cook will mog Sam next. I wonder what Dane Cook is up to. I saw what's his face? Jim Gaffigan. Not Jim Gaffigan. What's his face? Jeff Dunham. Jeff Dunham is still doing the same thing with the same puppets, and it's like, hey, if that's how you're making your money, if that's making you thousands of dollars, then hey, good for you, man. Like, good for you. But like, there's just something about that that's just like kind of gross to me. I don't know what it is. I remember Jeff Dunham in like 2004. I shit you not. I remember him from like back then. Other than that, it's like, man, you know. Um, but yeah, if my fallback, my go-to for if I don't know exactly what to do on a stream is to play AoE. We'll probably play some AoE. I gotta be honest with you, like I'm not opposed to playing more Oblivion, but also like with the streak of Oblivion broken so thoroughly, there's a piece of me that's like, I'm not really that interested in playing it. Like I don't play um when I play a game, I'm usually playing it for the stream, not even because I'm like, yes, I want to play this. More so because it's like, well, I might as well play this game because I think the 5 people that watch me will find it interesting. They might like it. Um, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go to I don't think I'm gonna go to the Oblivion well. I think I'm good for that for a while. Maybe we'll pick it back up at some point, but you know, um, I'm only here for your AOE streams. Well, thank you for putting up with everything else, David Hideo. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, good sir. Um, I went into Boston yesterday. That's why the UFC stream was a little late, and I was kind of fucking appalled by some of the shit that was happening. Fucking just I feel like I talked about this yesterday, but like sometimes like I'm I'm someone who I've always felt great shame whenever I let myself go. And what I mean by that is when I exercise such little self-control, when I just let myself get carried away and somebody calls me on it, you know? Like I can literally point to things that happened in my childhood where I felt like so much shame because like some guy like called me out on something. Like I was eating too much of something at like a party, a family party, and someone was like, "Yo, dude, save some for the rest of us." You know, that happened at a family party. You know, my uncle brings a shrimp thing. I was like 13 years old or something like that, and you know, like I was just like standing over it, just fucking shrimp after shrimp after shrimp after shrimp for like 5 minutes, to the point where my uncle actually came over and was like, "Hey, why don't we save some for everybody else?" And like in that moment, I was like, "Oh, fuck, ooh, man," you know. Um, I think that shame is important, and not many people seem to have that shame just in general. Like one of the questions that people have always grappled with is like, oh well, polite society is nice, but what happens when there's a catastrophic event and all of a sudden your neighbors are not just your neighbors anymore; they're mouths you have to feed. So it's like you almost can't even take care of your neighbors, even though you guys have been cool for however many years. There's always been that kind of like question that has been asked, and that question has always been asked with the understanding that like yes, we live in polite society, but I feel like um Scott literally inhaling shrimp like he's Kirby, dude. Basically, basically, man. Honestly, fucking just about. But what I was saying is oh yeah, like I don't even think we live in polite society anymore like that. But then again, also it might just be a city thing. It might just be a city thing. That might just be the way that it is. Basically, we had to get off a train and hop on a charter bus because they were doing repairs on some of the stops going into the city. So we do that. We have our fun in the city. And for one thing, I'm with my 68-year-old mother-in-law. She's not like an ancient 68, but she's, you know, she's 68, dude. Like she can't take hits like she used to. Um, and this dude almost runs her over with a bike and then pretends like we're not even there when I like tell the dude, "Yo, fucking watch it." You know, his buddy rides by like 3 seconds after, and I tell his buddy, "Yo, tell your boy to watch it." The dude pretends like we're not even there. You know, um, but then like that's not even what I was originally going to talk about. I forgot that even happened for a second, and I just remembered it. Like again, like the dude doesn't say anything. There isn't even like a hey, well, look out, on your right, on your left, behind you. Literally just almost runs over an elderly woman with a bike and doesn't say a word. You know, like I wish I was right there to kick the dude over. I wish I was right there to kick the fucking guy over. You know, because like I was far away enough as to where I realized what happened pretty much immediately. I saw it go down and I got pissed immediately. But I was just far away enough as to where by the time I was going to act, he was already like driving off. If I was closer, I would have been able to like kick the dude or something like that. Something would have happened, but it nothing happened. That's all that matters. I'm just pissed about it still. Um, what I was going to talk about specifically is like there was a point where we were headed home and we had to stop on this street corner where they were picking people up for the for in the buses. We get there, there's like 10 people who are there before us, and we sit down on a bench and we're just kind of chilling. A bus comes up and like we're all on our phones. We look up and all of a sudden there's like 40 people here total. We're like, what the hell? And people who got here like a minute ago, what I would assume, they ended up getting on the first bus that came. That was fucked up. So I'm like, okay, I'm not letting that happen again. I march us up to what is basically the front of the line, and I stand there. Nobody says anything. Nobody does anything. The problem comes when another bus comes. It's an empty bus, and people start trying to pile on. There's elderly women. There's kids, like little kids, like still in a stroller, still have to be carried around by mom. And these people are just like absolutely like bumping and pushing and all this other shit. Now, my mother-in-law gets on, and it is what it is. But then, like, I grab my wife's hand so that we don't get separated just in case. And I hop on. And this guy is behind me. He sees that I'm holding my wife's hand. And instead of being like, okay, I'll let them go and then I'll go behind the wife, he decides he's going to try and separate my wife and I. He walks in behind me. And I turn around and I'm like, yo, dude, what are you doing? Like, let my girl go. And he actually had the gall to be like, don't worry, she's going to get on. And I was like, it's just, how could you say something like that? You know, what kind of piece of shit do you got to be where that's going to be your answer? I look at this guy and I'm like, let her go, bro. Let her go. And then I yank my wife, basically like knocking him out of the way, using my wife as a cudgel. And then he kind of gives me a look like that. And then that's just that, you know? That's something that is so disgusting to me because it's a great example of people who they don't have any self-control. They're letting themselves go. And I know it's like half if not all of you are sitting here like, I mean, yeah, that's like annoying, but I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal. And I think it's a big deal like precisely because it's a group of like what by that time was probably 50 or more people who just absolutely positively have zero care for anybody else around them. It's I'm getting what I want and everybody else can fuck off. And it was just gross. And then getting off, I'm sitting there, I let people in front of me go because, you know, what am I going to do? Walk through them? And then as I'm going to go off the bus, I notice there's this woman standing over here and she's got a baby in her hand. And I'm like, oh, no, you go. It's okay. And as she goes, this other woman behind her fucking like tries to piggyback off of her. Instead of being like, yeah, let's let the woman with the baby go and make sure she's all good. You know? Um instead of that, it ends up being some like fucking dumb thing where like another person has to try and get what they want. And it's like I said, like it's not that big of a deal, but it really is. What's going on, Shoe Nice? How you been, man? Rudolph overdosed. Santa needs you this Christmas to guide the sleigh. Hey, don't worry, I'm there. I'm there, Shoe Nice. I got you. I got you, bro. I got you, Shoe Nice Claus. Don't you worry. I'll be there. I'll be there. Yes, there it is. Thank you very much, Zachary Verrett. Fucking, oh, man. But yeah, it's like again, it's not that serious. I understand it's not that serious, but to me it's serious because I don't think people should be allowed to act that way. And if somebody acts that way, you need to be able to tell them, "Hey, fuck off." But what happens when so many people are acting that way that it basically just becomes a stampede? You know, what happens when so many people are acting that way that you would have to tell 20 people to fuck off instead of just one person, you know? I would have fought somebody over it at the end of the day because I'm not going to allow somebody to push me and my wife around or anything like that. This guy who did that was kind of elderly. He was kind of old, you know? But it was like, it's still like, it's not good. You know, he wasn't like elderly. He was probably in his like mid to late 50s, the way he was moving around, the way he looked, the way he talked, you know? But it's just, you know, people are awful in cities and society has no cohesion. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm trying to say. It's just, I feel like it doesn't do it justice. I can't stand cities for that reason. Twitch permabanned you as well as Streamlabs, Shoe Nice. That's pretty fucked up. That's pretty fucked up. Quick rundown on what happened. I think I talked about this a little bit last night, Zachary, but basically just people acting shitty. People acting shitty in cities, you know, people acting shitty, like bumping into women who like have babies in their hands, and bumping into like just women in general trying to get on a bus and like not giving a fuck, you know. People trying to walk through you like you're not even there. People almost hitting you with bikes. Like it put me in a situation because like I'm realizing my wife is a city girl, right? But Brazilia is not like Boston. And I realized that just last night because I'm walking through Boston with them, and she points at a random building that's like tall. It's like a 30-story building, not nearly the tallest in Boston, but still tall. And she looks to her mom, says something in Portuguese, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, like, what'd you say? What was that?" And she said, "Oh, I was pointing out the building to my mom. It was so huge." And I was like, "What? You don't have those in Brasilia?" And she's like, "No, not really. No." Like, Brasilia is the capital of Brazil. It's definitely not the biggest city, but it's the capital of Brazil. So I always just kind of assumed that it would be like kind of like a DC sort of thing mixed with like a New York maybe. Like there had to be skyscrapers and stuff like that. I assumed anyway, you know. But I'm realizing that like maybe it's not exactly, you know, maybe it's not exactly the kind of city that I thought it was, and because of that, I don't know if my wife really understands like just how fucked up American cities can be in that way, you know. Um, Maybe she does, but like I'm sitting here, I'm kind of on high alert the whole time because like that's the type of shit that's gonna happen where like someone's gonna almost hit you with a bike, someone's gonna almost hit you with their car, someone's gonna bump into you. There's gonna be crackheads that want to waste your time. Literally, a crackhead wanted to get into a big conversation with us yesterday. Like we're outside of Raising Cane's in downtown Crossing, and like we've never had Raising Cane's before, so we're like, hey, let's do it, let's try it, you know. And as I'm like talking to my wife about it, this fucking crackhead is like, "Oh, hey, can I make a suggestion? Dude, you know what's even better? Birds." And it's like, "All right, and it's like, thanks, man. I appreciate it. We're gonna go to Raising Cane's though. We never asked you to speak to us. What are you doing?" You know? Like there's always gonna be some shit like that, you know? And like I feel like I'm escorting somebody. I feel like I'm private security and shit like that, you know? Um and like I don't want to have to like I thought about that and it's like, man, like do I really want to get into a fight in front of my elderly mother-in-law like that? Like I don't want to get into a fight in front of my mom. You know, my dad, I'd rather not get into a fight in front of my dad, but also like I like whatever if it had to happen, but like I really wouldn't want to get into a fight in front of my mom or my almost said my aunt, my mother-in-law because I feel like that's just not something they need to see. You know, they want to even though it's selfish and it's bullshit, they want to have a view of me where like I'm not capable of that kind of thing. And they don't want to have that worldview shattered. They want to believe that I'm just, little Scotty. I'm just little Scotty. I never hurt a fly, even though my mom has seen my MMA fights. you know, fucking I'm just little Scotty. I've never done it. I've never done nothing wrong to anybody. Tee. They want to have that view of me, and I don't want to like have to go out of my way to break that view, but I will, and like I don't like it's frustrating, you know, it's frustrating and it's annoying. Um, some cities have building height limits. Yeah, yeah, that's. I asked her why. Ah, man, dude, I'm all itchy because I went to the beach on Friday and I got a slight sunburn. And it's not a sunburn that hurts, it's a sunburn that itches. And the thing is, when I itch it, that's when it hurts. That's when it actually burns. Excuse me. Yeah, like Brasilia started to be built in the 60s, I believe. Um, My mother-in-law actually got a house given to her for free because they wanted to incentivize people moving to the new capital, because the capital before Brasilia was Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro. Um, no, but like Rio was the capital, but they wanted another capital city for whatever reason. I don't know why. And in order to incentivize people to move there, they gave people houses, you know? And, excuse me, because they say it's historical, even though it's not even 100 years old, they want to try and keep it as close to how it was built as possible. So that's why they don't have big ass skyscrapers, because they weren't doing that in Brasilia back then, you know. Um, but yeah, Scott constantly looking over his shoulder for Big Script who wants revenge. Actually, I'm constantly looking for Big Script. I've judged him as a mark. I've judged him as a mark, so I'm treating him like a chomo in prison. In fact, that's what I call him, Script the Chomo. That's what I call him. Oh man. Um, Google says it's 6 stories in Brasilia. Yeah, that's like nothing compared to like some of the shit you get in Boston. You know, the tallest building in Boston, and the tallest building in Boston is like the shortest building in New York City, mind you. John Hancock Tower Height. Um, it's a 60-story skyscraper. So the John Hancock. Oh wait. Oh yes, yes. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was confused because it has the John Hancock Tower located at 200 Clarendon Street in Boston is, here. And yeah, that's 60 stories, right? That's 10 times larger than the largest building in Brasilia. That's crazy to think about. But then there was also the John Hancock Center, which is a skyscraper in Chicago, Illinois, in Chicago, Illinois. Um, but yeah, I was going through the old streams the other day, and I re-stumbled across the Turkey Tom stream. Have you talked to him lately? No, not really. I try to make sure I have a reason to talk to people when I talk to them. I don't typically go out of my way just to be like, hey, and I don't have that much of a reason to talk to Turkey Tom. Um, I'm always down to collab with him in whatever way he would want to, but also why would he want to collab with me? I don't have clout like that. Um, so it's like whatever, whatever what you gonna do. Dick says, "What's good, Mr. Sullivan? Nice to see you live before starting the week. Nice to see you here, Dick. Doing all right, doing all right. Uh, Wait a second. Here we are. What's Shoe Nice's old for? Oh, old ass. You put four and then $2 signs. I was like, that's a weird way to put $4. Doing here. He's popping in to say hello. He's probably not even here anymore. But I'm always happy to see Shoe Nice. Sunburn so bad that you can peel your skin off like Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. Dude, I've had a few of those in my life. I'm so glad. Like, as annoying as the itchy sunburn is, the worst week of my life was when I was in. Nah, I had graduated a couple of months before that, but I went to water country with my girlfriend at the time, and I didn't put any sunscreen on, and because of that, I got the worst sunburn of my life, especially on the shoulders, and to start. I had to start a new job that week where I was working at a convenience store. So I was a cashier, and someone would be like, "Hey, could I have two number ones?" Talking about scratch tickets, because we had a wall of scratch tickets. And like you would you number them. I'm sure you guys have seen that before too. I'm pretty sure that's how they do it everywhere. I'm pretty sure they number them everywhere, but um someone would be like, "Hey, let me get a number one, two number threes, number 10, and blah blah blah," and I'd have to be like, because I could only go this high before the worst pain of my life, like hit. It was awful, you know. Um, YouTube keeps deleting all of my shit, so I have to sneak past like a 1940s robber wearing a black and white striped sweater. That makes sense, Bonjour Ski. I understand. I understand, sir. Well, man. It's like Boston's like it's not the worst city you've ever seen, but there's just nothing to do there, and I feel bad because like the only thing there is to do in Boston is to like eat. That's it. You know, I even like the corner mall at downtown Crossing. I was like, oh, like because I can remember right being at Boston Common for some stuff, and I need to use a bathroom, and I don't want to use a porta potty. So I knew there were bathrooms, or not knew, but somebody told me there were bathrooms in the corner mall, right? So I would go into the corner mall food corner mall food court, and I would take a piss, and then I'd be back out there, and it'd be all good. I never bothered to take a look around beyond the food court, and I didn't realize that that was the corner mall. It's just the food court. That's pretty much it. There's stores on the outside. There's stores on the outside, but like there's no. It's not really a mall like that. It's not a mall. It's just a fucking like. It's just a block of shops. That's it. You know. So I'm thinking it's a mall, not realizing it's not, and I'm like, hey, you know what I should do? I should, you know, my mother-in-law's never been to Boston. I should go ahead. I should bring him. I should bring him. I should bring her in there with my wife, and we'll take a walk around the corner mall before we go into the North End, and you know, get some stuff. Gotta sneeze. Excuse me, man. So we show up there, and it's just not what we thought it was, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? So we walked around the common, then we hopped on the subway, the orange line, kid, and we took the orange line to Haymarket. You know, we fucked around there for a little bit, but it's like there's just nothing to do there, and it's annoying. It's so annoying, dude. um Man, there's nothing worse than gambling addicts treating the convenience store like their personal casino when I'm trying to grab a coffee and get to work at 7:30 a.m. on a Monday, says Dick. Yes. Yes, it's not just annoying for you, it is deadly annoying to the person behind the counter. I've talked about this every now and again. The longest I have had somebody hanging out in the store, because that's literally all you're doing is just loitering in the store. The longest I've had somebody loitering in the store going from the counter to ask for more scratch tickets over to the booth, over to that like desk thing that you do Keno and like Powerball numbers and other stuff on, and then coming back to me after he scratches his tickets on there. The longest I've had is like between 5 and 6 hours. That's 5 and 6 hours of having this one fucking guy in the store, not leaving, not going anywhere, just losing money. Because that's all you do on scratch tickets. That's all you do on gambling is you lose. That's why I don't gamble. You know, the closest thing to a fair anything would be sports betting, and even then, it's like there's something kind of soy about that to me. You know, when people who don't even care about MMA are like, dude, I just bet on this guy to win the fight. I just bet on I just bet on this guy to win the fight. It's like that's cringe, and I don't like it, and I don't want to do it. I don't want any part of it. You know, that's kind of how I feel about sports betting and stuff like that. But um like all they do is just lose. You get a guy, he spends like $200, and then he finally gets a $100 winner. And that's the thing, it's not even about winning to them. They'll complain about how much money they're down, but what they really want is just that high of, ooh, I won $100. Whoa, yeah, woohoo. Even if they win like a bigger sum, like if they win $1,000, if they win $5,000, $10,000, over the years that they've been doing this, they've probably spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know? And like, you want to fuck yourself up, go right ahead. That's none of my business. If you ask my opinion, I'll tell you, hey, I wish you wouldn't do that, man. But you want to fuck yourself up? Go ahead. Go right ahead. It's whatever, bro. But when I am just a minimum wage worker at a Tedeschi's, that we used to have this chain called Tedeschi Food Shops. It's excuse me. They were everywhere, and then they got bought out by 7-Eleven. So rest in peace, Tedeschi's. They had the best in-house potato chips. You know, they made the best potato chips, the wavy potato chips. I love the hell out of those things. I'd come in high as a kite for my shift. I'd have another blunt rolled in my backpack, ready to go, and I'd just munch on chips and like soda and candy, and like they would have these. I'm taking a walk down memory lane right now, but anyway, um, but like I'm just a minimum wage worker at a fucking Tedeschi's, and I just want to go smoke a cigarette because that's how much my life sucks. Is the only thing I can do to have a little bit of reprieve from this hell that I've found myself in. This cell full of junk food that I've eaten so much of it. I don't. It's not even appealing to me anymore. Um, the only thing I can do is go outside and smoke a cigarette for 3 to 7 minutes, and I can't even do that because you are that much of a degenerate that you have to take your shit, walk 5 feet that way, not even leave the store and scratch in your car or anything like that. That's annoying enough. That's annoying enough. But at the very least, at least you're out of the store so I can leave for a second, and then maybe when you're done with your tickets, you see that I'm smoking a quick cig, so you're like, oh, all right, I'll give him a minute, and then once he tosses it, that's when I'll hop out my car. You know, like you don't even have the decency to do something like that. You have to go over to the Powerball thing and fucking scratch there. It's like, fuck yourself. Go and fuck yourself. It's awful, dude. It's awful, man. Everything in Boston is shopping and food. Yeah, it is. There's nothing fun in Boston. I was walking around with Greg. And actually, there's one fun thing in Boston that I would love to do again this year, but I'm not sure when it is. Now that I think of it, after Bitch Tank concluded, Greg went into Boston and I met him in there, and that's where I met JC. JC, he doesn't have the time to be in these chats anymore, but one of my mods, JC, I got to meet him last year. Cool guy. I met him and another dude along with Greg in there, and we found this Italian festival, you know. But even then, all that was at the Italian festival was like you could play a game or two. You know, they had the balloon darts, they had beer pong and stuff like that. But like other than that, it was just like you're just buying food there. You're buying food and you're buying beers. That's all you. That's it. That's all you got. You know. Dude, I'm so itchy. That's so annoying. Ah. I also look like a giraffe. I don't know if you can see very well, but I got spots. I got freckles all over my body. Um, what was I gonna say? Um, yeah, there's like nothing good in Boston though, you know. And Greg, the reason why I brought up Greg was because he said that Boston is a place that he would want to retire to because it seems like a good place to retire to. And honestly, yeah, like if you were a rich ass old guy, if you just had like money in the bank like that, having a condo in Boston and then having a condo down south in like Texas or like one of the Carolinas or even like Maryland. Like I was walking around DC. I was walking around Baltimore. It's December and it's January and it's nighttime and I have shorts on. You know, it's like the dead of winter and I'm in Maryland and it's like that warm that I can wear shorts if I want. You know, um, but like if you can do that, that's like the way to do it. That's fantastic. You know, that's the way you should do it. Um, What's the closest you've ever gotten to selling drugs? I think about it once every 2 weeks personally. I sold weed. I sold weed years ago, you know, but it was mostly people who sell weed do so to support a habit. You know, that's all they do it for, is because they get an ounce, and in order to make their money back on that ounce, whether it's just to make the money back on what they bought it for, or if they got fronted an O, and you know, they have to give their plug the money that they owe after a while. Um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, in order, like, in order to make their money back, they'll sell it, but then they'll have like an eighth to themselves or something like that, you know. And because of that, like, they'll smoke that, you know. But of course, like, getting high off your own supply, if you're that much of a pothead that you're gonna sell it to support your habit, there's gonna be plenty of times where you're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, but it's okay. I can just, you know, I'm getting paid for my regular job. Tomorrow I can just, you know, I can replace what I should be selling with my own money. Haha, I'll sell myself a dub. Ha ha ha. You know." Oh, um, fellow former convenience store worker. We didn't have lottery at the time, thank God, but hell of junk food reprieve hits home. Yeah, yeah. Um, that's all of Massachusetts, though. Can't afford shit in this state. You really can't. And that's something that I'm realizing, is that Massachusetts sucks the worst out of any New England state. And a lot of the New England states also suck, just not as bad as Massachusetts. And it's because the economy is so hostile. Everything is so hostile. Getting permits to do anything, getting zoned to do anything, getting anything. It's so hostile to new stuff. It's so hostile to fun stuff, you know? Like when I went down to Maryland, I went to Golden Corral. I talk about that every now and again. Fucking game changer, dude. If back when I was smoking weed, we had Golden Corral, I would be 500 pounds now. You guys would not know me from Fish Tank with Sam Hyde. You would know me from my 600-pound life, the guy who used to get high and go to Golden Corral. But you can't have a Golden Corral up here because the economy will just not allow it. I don't even know how these all you can eat, like, Chinese buffets stay open. There's got to be some aspect of it that's like, you know, they make their money elsewhere or something like that. There's got to be some aspect of it that's like that, you know. You can't have anything good. Like I went to this Egyptian themed, there was an Egyptian themed movie theater, and the architecture there was really cool. The theaters themselves were small. They were like half the size of the theater that I have been going to for years, and they're just so much nicer. And it's like, the crazy thing is, Maryland is a blue state just like Massachusetts, but Massachusetts has something to prove to all the other blue states out there. Instead of taking care of Massachusetts, what they want to do is signal to everybody else that they're the most progressive and all this other stuff. We have Maura Healey, a literal, I'm pretty sure she's a lesbian, a short hair bull lesbian with something to prove. And Mayor Wu, I think her name was Michelle Wu or something like that. She's the mayor of Boston, and Boston is getting worse. Massachusetts has been bad, but it's only getting worse, to the point where I've dropped the hint before. Like, I'm looking to get out of here. I'm planning on making an escape at some point. I don't want to talk about to where exactly, you know, but I have like three or four different states in mind, you know, and only like one of them is in New England. So that sucks. But I ain't got nothing else I can do. If I want to have a family, and if I want to live a life where I don't have to have two jobs, both of which are soul sucking, you know, like, I gotta get out of here, dude. There's no other choice, you know. Like let's look at Zillow, right? Like, the reason I was in Baltimore, right? I'm not actually thinking of going to Baltimore. And when I say Baltimore, I mean Maryland in general. I'm not actually thinking about going to Maryland, right? But uh Maryland. We're just gonna type in Maryland, right? Um, trying to make sure everything is all good here. Anyway, um, let's look at this, right? If you want a, yeah, you see that's actually that's pretty expensive right there. Silver Spring, Maryland. That's actually not that great, right? Let's see here though. 2150. That's not great, but it's better than what we got here. 2395. 1850 for a two-bedroom right here in this place. I don't know where that's at. I don't know where that's at. It might be shitty. 1840 for a two-bed. Again, like this is I don't know where that's at. I don't know where that's at. Let's just go ahead, right? I'm just curious. Let's see Baltimore specifically. 2000 for $2,000 a month for a four-bed, two-bath. Now, this is Baltimore. This is Baltimore, but since I know a little bit more about Baltimore, I can bring you to the nice area of Baltimore. I can bring you to the nice part of Baltimore. This is, I'm looking for Canton. Canton in Baltimore. Brewers Hill, right? Brewers Hill. This is around the area that I stayed in Baltimore. We can see 1,800 a month for a two-bed, 1.5 bath. This is a townhouse. This is a townhouse. 1,845 per month, two-bed, 1.5 bath. It's only 800 square feet, but like, I don't know if you guys think this is a lot. It's not compared to Boston. It's not. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you in a second, right? Oh, 1650 for a one bed, one bath, 820 square feet. What's this? 2300. Two bed, two bath. It's an apartment, right? 2300 a month. That's not amazing. Another thing, right? Another thing. You're gonna notice the variety, right? Like what's this, right? Oh yeah, this is the one we just checked out, right? Two bed, 1.5 bath, 800 square feet. There was one that was two bed, two bath, right? You notice the difference in price between these two, right? You don't have that. You don't have that in Massachusetts. We're gonna go ahead, all right? We're gonna look at. I hate all these people. I hate all these people. I hate all these websites that have to have their own little quirks as to how they work and shit like that. It's so annoying. I'm gonna literally have to pull Zillow back up and then go Boston, Massachusetts. You boys ready for this? You ready for this one? You're gonna love this one. You're gonna love this, right? Like I said, I don't know if you think what you saw from Baltimore, Maryland, specifically the nice part of Baltimore, the hipster white person part of Baltimore. I don't think if I don't know if you thought that was a lot for what you're getting. Let's take a look. Right out the gate, 3,600 a month for a one bed. If you want two beds, it's 4,800 a month. Legally, four people are allowed to live in a two bedroom. Now, of course, it's not like they have the bedroom police going around and checking, but where do you have to work to make 4,800, excuse me, a month between four people, right? A studio is 2,875. A studio. You have one room, maybe a bathroom. I would assume there's a bathroom. I would like to believe there's a bathroom, right? Let's go ahead, right? The North End, right? Let's check out the North End. I was dating a chick from the North End at one point. I'm curious what this is like. Uh, hmm, 2650 a month. I wonder what that's like. Let's click on it. Let's click on it. Let's see. So it's oh no, wait. Studio plus, yeah, so here it is. This is what I was looking for. This is what I was looking for. It's a studio. You have 250 square feet and a bathroom. You have 250 square feet in a bathroom for 2650. This is what I'm talking about, right? And look, we were looking at the nice part of Baltimore. This is the nice part of Boston. Okay, let's check out like let's check out like a Dorchester, right? Let's find Dorchester. I don't know if I'm gonna be, yeah. There's Jamaica Plain. There's Jamaica Plain, right? Jamaica Plain used to not be that good, but Sedgwick Street. That's interesting. Anyway, right, 2,400 a month. I'm curious about this, right? Apartment building 1 to 7 beds. That's a little bit weird. Oh, okay. So, room for rent. There is a room for rent for $2,250 in Jamaica Plain. Let's see what the 2 bed, 3,400 a month for 2 bed, 1 bath, 1,000 square feet. You guys get what I'm saying right now? Now, to be fair, Jamaica Plain has been it's been gentrified, right? But we'll go ahead. We'll do what are we gonna do? We're gonna do Dorchester, Mass. We're gonna look at Dorchester real quick, right? Now, Dorchester, not really the place you want to live. There's some nice areas of Dorchester and stuff like that, but 2,550 for a 1 bed, right? Or let's even look around, right? Like Randolph, right? Randolph is not a place that you want to really live like that. It's not the best place to live. Ah, yes, Randolph. Let's see about Randolph. 3,000 a month for a 2 bed, 2 bath. 3150 a month for a 3 bed, 2.5 bath, 1,800 square foot townhouse. That's not the worst, but it's still not. It's still not great. It's still not great. What you're noticing, right? What you're probably noticing as well. I talked about the diversity of I talked about the diversity of the pricing in a place like Baltimore, where you might have something where there's 1,800. You can pay 1,800 for 3 bedrooms, and then around the corner they want 2,400 for 3 bedrooms, right? You don't have that here. You don't have that kind of thing here. Everyone is either market rate or they're above market rate, because everybody is in this weird thing where they have this silent agreement that nobody is going to undercut anybody else or something like that. I don't know what the deal is. Let's see what 3,500 a month for a 3 bed, 2 bath. Again, not great. Not great. 4,000 a month for 4 bed, 2 bath. That's 1,000 a month per person if everybody has one whatever it's called, and that's again not great. What's this? 2,600, 2 bed, 1 bath apartment for 2,600. It's just gross, dude. It's just fucking gross the way everything is. Why rent a house? Because you're not literally, you would rent a house because you cannot buy a house, because you cannot get financed for one reason or another. Fucking, I'll rent you a 2 bed, 1 bath in Northport for 500. Sensei price. Where's Northport, Rusty? I appreciate the offer. Dorchester is the neighborhood that you hear about every morning on the news for there being a shooting again, just for reference chat. Exactly, Spunkold. Randolph is another one of those. It's just not a. It's just bad. Dude, fucking Brockton. Let's check out Brockton. Because you know what? I grew up around Brockton. I know Brockton. Brockton is shitty. It's old. Nothing there is nice. Everything sucks. Everything fucking sucks in Brockton. It is the worst place you could live. $2,000 for a studio. $2,500 a month for 2 bed, 1 bath. $2,800 a month for 3-bed, 1-bath. 1950 a month for 1-bed, 1-bath. $2,400 a month for a 3-bed, 1-bath. No, 0 square foot house apparently. Oh no, actually it's an apartment. It's an apartment. So you're gonna have to share this. You're gonna have to share this with somebody else essentially. 3150 for a 4-bed, 1-bath. I've never seen a 4-bed, 1-bath apartment before, but it's probably not very good. 3,200 for 4-bed, 1.5-bath. 3,000 a month for 3-bed, 1-bath. 1,500 a month for a studio. 2,000 a month for 2-bed, 1-bath. 800 square feet. It is just bad. It is bad in every sense of the word. It is just. And again, this is a place where you will get shot. This is a place where you will get robbed. You do not go out after dark because it could be dangerous for you, especially the deeper you go into the city. It's not a good place, Excuse me, you're not wrong about conspiratorial prices. RealPage is under investigation by the DOJ. I used to do IT for a company that used it heavily. There's some videos about it on YouTube. Wild shit. If you could send me those, Dick, I would appreciate it. If you want to send them to me on Instagram or Twitter or something like that, I'm curious about it. And when I say conspiratorial pricing, I don't even mean literally there is a conspiracy. What I mean is people are just greedy. Natural greed just takes over for some reason. I don't know why. There's something in Massachusetts where wait. I see 1.6. I'm curious about this. Oh, it's a 1-bed, 1-bath. It's a 1-bed, 1-bath, not even 700 square feet. It's just gross, dude. It's disgusting. The nice part of Baltimore, the part of Baltimore that I felt comfortable walking around at 3 a.m. I was walking around after dark, streaming on my Instagram. I went live on Instagram, just fucking hopping and skipping around Baltimore after dark. Something you would never think a white boy would want to do, right? But I was in a nice part of Baltimore. I didn't have to worry about that kind of thing. Meanwhile, you go to the worst areas of Massachusetts. Let's check out. I'm curious about Springfield, right? Springfield is like another dimension practically, I'm curious about this, right? $1,400 a month for 1-bed, 1-bath. $1,000 for a studio. $1,500 for 1 bed. See, these are cheaper prices, but you got to live in Springfield, which is basically the Baltimore of. Excuse me. Springfield is basically the Baltimore of Massachusetts. So you don't want to live in Springfield. $1,750 for 1 bed. $1,350 for 1 bed, 1 bath. $1,475 for 1 bed. Again, just for reference, right? You're practically in Connecticut living in Springfield. There ain't a whole lot out that way. And Springfield is not a good place to live. You don't want to live there, So you would have to go to a place where your life is in danger on the level that, again, you would be in one of those bad parts of Baltimore if you want to get, better pricing and stuff like that, If you want to live where everything in the state is, if you want to live within an hour's drive of the state capital, you have to pay ridiculous shit, Springfield, Missouri? No, not Springfield, Missouri. Springfield, Massachusetts. Texas is my favorite state, dude. Fucking Texas, you could get a 1-bedroom for $800 depending on where you're in Texas. It's just gross. Rent an apartment instead of a house? That's way too expensive. Well, that's the thing is in some cases it's not even about renting an apartment versus a house where it's oh dude, I want to save money. If you have 2 or 3 kids but you don't have the ability to buy a house, what else are you going to do? You have to rent a house. That's just the way that it is, the thing Johnny Moe, right? What you're saying is not wrong, right? Excuse me. Mm. What you're saying is not wrong. Yes, if you rent an apartment instead of a house, you'll save a few $100s a month that you can use towards a down payment for a house in like 10 years. In like 10 fucking years, because you're only saving a couple hundred a month. And then you also factor in all these other situations where like you need to fix your car, and all of a sudden you need to take that money that you were saving for a down payment, you got to put it towards a car. Something comes up with your daughter, your son, your dog, you, whatever, you got to take that money, you got to spend it. Life is not as simple as, well, I should just do it this way because then I'll be able to save more money. It's not as simple as that, and like it sucks that it can't be that way, but like that's the worst part about it, is that like there's some, and I'm not referring to you, Johnny Mo, specifically when I say this. I'm referring to boomers for the most part, but there's always some fucking asshole who has it better than you, who never had to struggle the way you did, who is now trying to tell you how to deal with the struggle that he never went through. You know? Fucking both of my parents are alive. Knock on wood. Don't want to jinx it here, but imagine if you came to me and you're like, dude, my dad died, and I was like, oh, dude, I'll tell you how you can get through this. It's like, I don't know what that's like. I don't know what that is. I couldn't tell you anything about it. I have no business trying to tell you how to get through grieving for the death of like your one of your parents. That's none of my business. I'm lucky enough to have both of my parents alive. Again, I'm not gonna knocking on wood here, knocking on wood, just to be sure here. Like that's what's happening a lot of the time, is people who have never had to struggle that way are now trying to be like, oh, well, you see, what you got to do is, like, literally people are sitting here like, well, what you got to do is you got to get a managerial job at a Chipotle, as if those things just grow on trees. The current any Chipotle that has been open, any Chipotle out there has a manager already. They don't need another manager. So what I would have to do is I would have to get in as a crew member, and then I would have to prove myself to be manager material. But the thing is, that's not how it works. Because a lot of the time they're either just going to hire a manager direct, or they're going to give it to whoever's a better brown noser. So right away there's already a flaw in that plan. If everybody here is trying to get a managerial job, everybody's going to be brown nosing, which means your chance of getting a managerial job is very, very low in the first place. My brother-in-law, he does something else now, but for a long time, he was a manager of a Dunks. He was managing a Dunkin' Donuts. He wasn't making that kind of money. He wasn't making the kind of money that people will claim you make for being a manager at a fucking fast food place. What the hell? These 70-year-old fuckheads that just need to they need to put themselves in the ground as soon as possible. It's just gross, bro. It's just gross. Considered moving to Texas? Nah, I couldn't do Texas, Johnny Mo. It's too hot. This summer alone, like I've had a headache every single day because of the heat, because I just can't keep hydrated enough. I work out and I end up with a dehydration headache that doesn't go away until the next day. And then I drink as much water as I can, and then I work out again, and I have another dehydration headache. So, like, even though it'd be nicer to live in a warmer climate, there's no way I could survive in Texas. It's just not going to work. Even if I was to go to Brazil, I'd have to go to the south of Brazil, because the south of Brazil is like the north of America. They get 4 seasons down there. It's not constantly hot as balls. They actually get a little bit of snow here and there. The franchise makes the money. I made more than most fast food or retail managers working manufacturing. Exactly. LOL, yeah, the dude that bought a house for 15K 50 years ago. Exactly. I'm curious about something. Uh, my parents' house currently. Oh man. Man. Damn. The picture of my parents' house has a car in it, and I'm pretty sure the car that's in that picture is my grandfather's car. So he either A was visiting, or B, it was after he died when my mom took possession of his car and was keeping it at our house for a little while. But the thing is, where it's positioned, it's blocking in my dad's car, which means that chances are he was just visiting at that time. So this picture of my parents' house, it's blurred out. I guess they blur out off-market houses for some reason. I don't know why, but my grandfather was, who is dead now. My grandfather's been dead for about 4 years, a little bit under 4 years. Um, Man, can't believe that. My grandfather was visiting when this picture was taken. It's a weird thought, but my parents' house is estimated at a little over 500,000 right now. My dad told me they bought it um for $118,000 back in the 90s. I'm curious what it was sold for um in 2016. In early 2016 it was about 274,000 is the estimate of that. I'm trying to figure out. Apparently it was built in 1955. That's interesting. I never knew that about my house. um the estimated rent is $3,319. My hometown is getting worse and worse in terms of it's it's getting worse and worse in terms of its the crime rate and stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out what's going on in Halfland. I'm trying to see. You see, the only thing it shows is when my parents bought it. The only thing it shows is when my parents bought it in 1993 for $118,000. That's the only thing that shows. It doesn't show any data before that. So I'm curious about it. I'm curious about that situation. You know. Um, but yeah, geez, my elementary school was rated 5 out of 10. My middle school was rated 4 out of 10, and my high school was rated 6 out of 10. The high school should not be 6 out of 10. Shit should be 0 out of 10. But yeah, like I'm not sure what it sold for originally. I couldn't tell you, you know. Um but I know it wasn't $118,000. Are you an only child? No. No, I was not. If Texas is too hot, Brazil is going to be a challenge for you. Yep, I'm sure it will be. I don't plan on living in Brazil though. That's not something I'm completely opposed to if it comes down to it, but it's not something I would ever want necessarily. Like things would have to go wrong for us in a way that would necessitate us being like, hey, well, let's get out of here, you know. Uh, Steam, Steamerino. It's possible some boomer in the 50s just got back from World War II, bought a plot of land and built a house, lived in it until the 90s and sold it. That's possible, you know. That I watched UFC last night. Yes, I did. It was there was some pretty good fights on there. I was really happy with the Paulo Costa thing. What happened with Paulo Costa was really cool. Um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, like that was a masterful performance on his part. You don't see that kind of thing in the UFC as much anymore, specifically from the guy who everybody was counting out. I don't know. I would assume he was a betting underdog. But like regardless, like nobody thought he was gonna win, let alone win that way. So good for Paulo for putting on that performance, you know. If money wasn't an option, where would you live? A state in the US or somewhere outside the US? I mean, I'd want to live around family, so I'd probably live in Massachusetts, but I'd be a snowbird. I'd also have a property wherever else I felt like, you know, even if it was Brazil, like, and then that way, because it's everything's reversed. Like it's the summer in North America, it is the winter in South America. So like we would be up here for the summer, and then we would go down to Brazil for the summer there. You know, that way we don't have to deal with the winter unless we decide we want to. You know, that's what I would do personally. Um, that fight with the black guy and the guy covered in tattoos was a real war. One of the best fights I saw in a while. Yeah, yeah. Rodriguez versus why? Oh yeah, Kevin Holland. Duh. Why'd I forget his name for a second? Yeah, that was a pretty good fight too. You know, that was a fun fight to watch. Um, so I'm just looking at everything that's being said. Dude, it's so fucking frustrating. This itching, dude. I can't stand it. It's the worst, bro. It's the worst. I lay in bed trying to sleep, and it's just like I sit there for an hour just itching everywhere. I just itch. You know, it's the worst. Excuse me. Anyway, I'm gonna play a little AOE. We're gonna play a game. You know, maybe two, and we're gonna have a good time with it. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a grand old time. What's he itching from? A sunburn. Um, I went to the beach on Friday and I applied sunscreen a couple of times actually, but um, the sunscreen washed off at one point and I forgot to apply more. I didn't think I needed more. I thought the sunscreen I applied the second time was going to be all right, and turns out it wasn't. It's not the worst. It's not the worst one, you know, that I've ever had, but it's definitely annoying. Peace out, Spunkold. I appreciate you being here, man. All right, let's play a little bit of ranked. Yeah, I had a blast. You know, like that's another thing about Massachusetts is that when you live in Massachusetts, your life is just work constantly, and people trick themselves into thinking that their lives aren't just work by like going to the bar and stuff like that. But really, like, the bar is a working man activity where it's like, I don't have time or energy to do anything else. I guess I'll just go to the bar and talk to the guys that are usually there and have a few beers and stuff like that, you know? That's a proletariat activity, if you will. Not to be a dirty commie over here, but um there's nothing to do, and then in addition to that you don't have the time to do anything fun in the first place, so because of that you end up um forgetting how to have fun. Like I was convinced for years that I hated the beach, and then I went to the beach a couple of weeks ago and I was like, wait a second, I don't hate the beach. What the hell am I talking about? What? No, it's just I became domesticated. I became domesticated as to where I was like, oh dude, fucking nah, dude, I don't go to the beach not because I don't have the time and the energy and anything like that, because I have to work like a dog to stay afloat. No. I don't go to the beach because I hate the beach is what it is. I can't stand the beach. Um and like when my wife dragged me to the beach a couple of Fridays ago, I was like, literally, I woke up that morning and I was like, I gotta go to the fucking beach today. Really, dude? What the fuck, man? I don't want to do this. And then, ooh, Celts. Kick.com/DMB play. Oh man, I should pull this guy's shit up and watch. I should watch what his moves are. Although chances are he's doing mirror, so he probably doesn't play Celts like that all the time. So I'll have that experience. But yeah, like I had so much fun a couple of weeks ago. I was like, hey, let's go back this coming Friday too, and I had a blast then too. It was a lot of fun. Sand gets everywhere. It does, you know. I hate sand. Gets everywhere. It's coarse. I haven't watched that movie in a long time. The slave mindset some people have is unbearable, like shit talking people for only working 40 entire hours. Yeah, like it sucks too because I think there is something to be said about lazy people. Um, and one of those things is that like a lot of people simply don't want to work hard for what they have, but also the idea that I should have to work more than 40 hours or that I should have to like sacrifice that much of my life just to be able to like survive, not thrive, but survive, to just desperately try to keep my head above water is disgusting, and that should not be how things are. But unfortunately, it is in a state like Massachusetts, and of course, they're just going to blame Trump for it. But whatever. Um, yeah, it's awful. It's just awful. People are just that shitty, you know. Um, all right, I'm good there. They're just not, that's one response to the way the world is today. That's like you're like um I'm trying to think of a way to explain this. I know exactly what I want to say. I just don't know how I want to say it. Like there's certain responses that are understandable. Like for instance, Andrew Tate, right? I don't like Andrew Tate. I've always thought he was a huckster. At best, he was a huckster. Um, Never liked him. Never, never agreed with him on a lot of things. But if there's one thing I can understand, it's why he came about. Andrew Tate came about as a reaction to men not being valued in the way that they need to be valued in society. And what happened is, in order to feel the warmth of the village, men burned it down. That's an African proverb. If a boy denied the love of the village, will burn it down to feel its warmth. That's what Andrew Tate is. It's young men burning the village down because they were denied the love. Um, I can understand it, even if I don't agree with it. You know. And then to use Andrew Tate as another example, the answer to that is not to become some weird like wannabe mogul who makes all his money off of ham whores, who makes all his money off of allegedly trafficking women and stuff like that. Like, but unfortunately, a lot of people out there, um, they don't want to admit that they've been had, because if they admit that anyway, it feels bad because they are basically admitting, hey, I've been victimized. I am a victim. I can be a victim because I'm not the strongest guy you've ever seen. I have vulnerabilities and I'm not always going to win. There's a lot of people out there who never got over that. Um, they never learned to lose with dignity or just to take an L and like improve off of it or anything like that. So because of that, they become these people who are like, dude, fucking just be like Top G. Dude, Top G doesn't care what anybody says or thinks, and it's like Top G is a literal whoremonger. You know? He's like a weird freak bitch, you know? Like literally everything about Andrew Tate is fake in the first place, even his fighting career, you know. Yeah, he's fighting dudes that are not to make it about Andrew Tate specifically, I'm just using him as an example here. And, because I'm playing and talking at the same time, I'm not making that example, I'm not making that point as best I could. But even Andrew Tate's fighting career is like it was decided in a boardroom somewhere, you know. He had a manager who was like, "What? You want him to fight a guy who's on a 5-fight win streak? No, 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 no. We're gonna have him fight a dude who's only on his like 10th amateur fight, 10th amateur fight, his 10th pro fight or something like that, you know." Andrew's sitting here. He's got like 40 fights under his belt. He only wants to fight dudes that are oh shit. He only wants to fight dudes that are gonna be like new to pro fighting and shit like that. But like, um, the world is diseased. You know, the world is we're living in a sick world. Not to be like a fucking drama queen about it, but we're living in a sick world, and a lot of people were infected with this sickness and they don't even realize it, to the point where they think the cure is just more sickness, you know. Yeah, you know what, fuck it, I'll go here, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and then you coming along too. 1 2 2 3 4 5 6 7. I definitely did those out of order. Landrew Late is what I call him. Hell yeah, bonjour skeet. Andrew Tate is a psyop. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. Schizo mind war. Very, very, very fitting name for accusing people of being psyops, I will say. Very, very, very good name for that purpose. But no, like, I do agree with you. It wouldn't surprise me if part of the reason why he got so famous in the way that he did is because he was pushed in a certain way, you know? Um, Almost no one is making it into adulthood with all their faculties in order. You have to be an outlier just to be an outlier just to be a normie these days. Yeah, yeah, Benjamin Young. Then you have to somehow be keen and lucky enough to make a lot of money. Exactly, you know? We got 1, we got 2, bang, 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 bang. Then we'll go here, then we'll go there. You guys need to over here. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh no, actually, I want them there because I'm going to send these guys over to there once they're done. His father was a chess champion too, yeah, you know? Like, just because I understand it doesn't mean I accept, you know? I understand why Andrew Tate came around. I think he was the logical next step when people realized that MRA was not useful and when they decided they didn't want to become MGTOW. Because Andrew Tate is like kind of like an anti-MGTOW, and I don't mean anti-MGTOW like he's against MGTOW, but what he does is he preaches a lot of MGTOW values, but then he also adds in the whoremonger, convert to Islam for the bitches and hoes kind of behavior and attitude. So like someone like Andrew Tate, it actually makes a lot of sense why he became as big as he did when he did. But again, just because I understand it doesn't mean I agree. What are you doing, you idiot? Get your ass over there. Get back here, you big dummy. Not everybody follows in their father's footsteps when they probably should. Oh man, this dude got to castle real quick. I don't like that. He's probably gonna try and castle drop me or something. All right, you get your ass in there. Ooh, all right, okay. Yeah, something tells me I'm gonna get castle dropped, you know. So I gotta have my shit ready to go ASAP. And I don't know what this is for, but it might be for trying to. Yep, there it is. Andrew Tate got a bunch of Indians to create and upload edits of him on YouTube. That's how he got big. Not surprising. Not surprising one bit. Oh, yeah, Yeah, I know what he's doing here. This is such an annoying way to do it. Fucking this right here is probably creating rams. He's going to utilize that most likely to create what's it called? Scorpions. And yeah, yep. You see right there. See, the Scorpions are going to cover the Rams. I've probably played this guy before. It's just a really annoying way for him. Like even by my standard, where I do kind of do something a little bit similar, it's just such an annoying way to play. You know, it's like, man, that just sucks. That's fucking annoying. Um, You know, I might be able to stop him, though. I might be able to. Especially because he's being dumb with this ram right here. You know? Oh, now he's being smart with it. Oh, well. Alright, boys. Let's get your asses back in there. Alright, gonna go there too. And then... Again, he's being kind of weird with the rams. Like, he should have created a lot more rams than he did. So, I'm gonna assume he may not 100% know what he's doing there. But yeah, he's trying to send... He's probably sending more rams over to there, which... Not a bad idea at all, but I'm going to create an onager, not an onager, a mangonel, and then my own rams. Well, I can create my own rams right now, I suppose. Yeah. This is not good because my eco is not very good. You know, I'm waiting for them to create more, not create more, but, I need more gold desperately, you know? Alright, well, you know what? Suppose we'll go here. And then I'm going to sell a little bit for one of these. Okay. Good luck with that, I suppose. See, he sent, like, the only thing I'm really worried about is that onager, that mangonel he had, you know? He wants to do that with the mangonel. Then I'm in trouble, because the mangonels eat those things alive, you know? I'll even go ahead and say fuck it and send these guys over to there, because, oh, alright, get your asses back over there. You see? Again, that's what I was afraid of this whole time. Oh, man. I'm being an asshole, but you know what? Like that was a cheeky little move there, and he thought he was gonna be real cute with it. You know, he thought he was gonna be real cute, and as soon as it failed, he's like, "Uh-oh, I better call it quits." Anyway, DMB play. Let's hold on. Kick.com/DMB play. Kick.com/DMB play. Kick.com/DMB play. Kick.com/DMB play. Kick.com/DMB play. Oh, he's fucking live. Yo, he's fucking live, bro. He's live. Oh man, dude, I'm gonna sign in. We're gonna fuck with this guy. Hold up. I'm signing in. We're gonna fuck with this guy. How many? He has one view. I am the only viewer. Bro. Hold on. I'm gonna sign in real quick. Oh no, I gotta log in, not sign up. Silly me. Oh man, I fucked up the Oh no, I didn't fuck up the password. Nice. I gotta do that dumbass two-factor authentication shit, though. That's annoying. Hold up, hold up, hold up. He's Spanish. I'm pretty sure that's how you say I'm victorious. I could be wrong though. He's gone for now. He's gone for now. He's gonna come back in a second. He's gonna come back in a second. We're gonna mess with him a little bit. Thanks, thanks for being here. You know what? I'll give him a follow. I'll give him a follow. Still though. Oh man. I just I just want to wait for him to get back. I want to wait for him to get back. I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens. Fucking. He's got what 31 out of 1,000 followers or something like that. He's trying to get to 1,000 followers. Is this supposed to be his name? Kadosh. He's playing Dota 2, also Age of Empires 2 and FC 25. I'm curious about this. I bet he knows it's you watching right away. That would be funny, dude. Like he just kind of he's like I stream because I like it, right? I stream because I like it. I have fun with it. Um, but like having, having two viewers and they're people who are rating your stream is like, oh man, But then again, I don't know. Maybe we'll make this guy's day just by being here. Is he taking a shit or something? What's going on? It's weird to see his AoE is a little bit different from mine. He has blue instead of red, and then of course the Spanish. But oh, dude, so this guy plays the Celts. He is a Celt player, and he's that bad with them that he cannot do anything other than that rush. Now, me, I'll be honest with you, I've become so reliant on that rush that it is kind of difficult for me to win any other way, but I still can win any other way if I want. If no, but like I can still win other ways if it comes down to it. It's just a lot tougher for me. And part of that is just because of the way that I'm playing. That just is what it is. Fucking Scott follows Wood Baby and Dr. Beats based. Yeah, I was following them from the what's it called? The stream. That stream, whatever it is. Apparently Florida Boy has 275 viewers. That's pretty good for him. I forgot I was supposed to eat this bad Larry. Go. This guy's got like another 2 minutes to get his ass back in here. I just got him 5 viewers. He's got 5 viewers right now because of me. Oh, oh, shit. How do I bring chat back? How, how do I get the chat back? What the fuck? Dude, hold on. Maybe I have to. Ah, here it is. Here it is. If he's not back by the time I finish my pastel, then we're out of here. We're out of here. We're gone. This is why he doesn't have viewers. Yeah, yeah. I'll say. I'll say. I gotta. Yeah, the fish tank streams are weird. They're boring and crazy in a sad way. This is Benjamin Young. Hold on. Oh, my favorite food, pizza, hands down. He's he's way better than a bird stream, to be honest. Yeah. Wait. Here he is. Here he is. He's back. He's back. He's fucking back. Is he like looking at his chat like? Yo, what? Yo, this dude probably thinks he made the big time or something. You see that? You see that? You see that reaction? Yeah. You guys hear that? Oh yeah, I forgot Ricky Berwick is on the site too. I mean that's a pretty nice get seeing Brittany Berwick, seeing Ricky Berwick on the site. That is pretty nice. This dude's about to not be down to play his game. His game is about to start in like 2 seconds. I want to see you.
Thank you, though.
What?
Oh.
It's Celts versus Celts again for this guy.
Karenina. Karen.
Holy shit. Holy shit, dude. Oh, he plays quick. This is one of those dudes. This is one of those dudes who plays like mad quick. Like his APM is mad high, but like what's he even doing right now? Oh, I see what he's doing. He's using these guys to scout, you know? How is this guy that bad with this kind of APM? How is he that bad with that APM right now? That's like pretty crazy. Holy shit. What is going on here? What is going on here? Jeez, dude. Holy fuck, man. Again, look at that. Like, look at his APM. Look at how quick this dude is going, and he got beat simply because his rush didn't work. That's it. There was nothing else. Nothing crazy. Just his rush didn't work. That's why he got the feudal and then castle so quick, because he's running at a mile a minute, but he only has enough for that rush, and if the rush doesn't work, everything else fails. He just knows how to do the feudal age good. Exactly, you know? You were 14 elo when you played. Says Benjamin Young. That's pretty good. That's what Taylor's at. He's at like 1400 elo. I'm kind of fascinated by this, honestly. I'm kind of fascinated. Like I wanna watch this. I wanna see how it plays out. Damn.
Hola, Tere, te amo. Tú no me amas, Tere.
Man. So he's got 3 on wood. He's got 8 on hunt. He's got 2 on... He's going to have 3 on chickens. Looks like 4 on chickens. This is a weird build, dude. This is like the weirdest fucking build. This is wild, bro. Well, he did lose like 2,000 gold messing up that attack. It set him back far. Oh yeah, it definitely did, you know. But if he was focusing on stone at all, he would have been able to set up a castle that would have made my attack pretty hard, you know, because I was originally going to take out those things that I took out on the right of my base, and then I was going to send the rams to take out his siege workshops, and then naturally I was going to send them at his walls to try and do what kind of damage I could do. But seeing as how we were both Celts, he for one thing, he could have set up, you know, if he had the eco for it, that is. He didn't have the eco for it, I'm sure. If he had done it differently, if he had the eco for it, he not only could have set up a castle, but he also could have set up another siege workshop in his own walls, and he could have set up a he could have had mangonels. He could have set up a mangonel or two that would have taken out my you know, I almost keep calling them onagers for some reason. My rams. Duh. He could have taken out my rams that way, you know? But he didn't do that. Like, is this what he's been doing for 4.5 hours? Oh, after this match, we're gonna go back to about the 4-hour mark, right here, you know, and we're gonna see what he's been doing. Has he just been doing this for 4.5 hours? I'm curious to see. 600-pound black woman in chat. I don't know which one of you guys that is, but you're saying, yo, bro, this is Kino, Yeptuni, and If you have a kick, give this guy a follow just for the sake of it. What's he building? Oh yeah, that's he's building a market and a blacksmith right there. Again, this dude is just moving fast. Like faster than I have ever dreamed of moving. He's just got it. He's just that way, you know. He's got all these add-ons or whatever. He's got all these fucking what? He's got all these fucking all this shit, you know? Like his berries, he has a mod. He has all these mods that are supposed to make the game even easier to play and shit like that.
Yes!
Yo, this dude unironically gets mad excited when somebody follows him. That's kind of funny to see how excited this guy gets. You can get to this pace, Scott. Oh yeah, I know I can get to this pace. It's just that truth be told, I'm not big on like sweating that much, you know. I'm not big on being that sweaty. Fucking, but I mean, I'm sure one day I'll get sick of losing to higher competition and I'll be like, okay, whatever, let's do it, you know. Oh man. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I kind of hope this guy wins. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do kind of hope he wins a little bit.
No.
Oh man. You see, he's making a mistake building them that close because now they can be seen, they can be spotted by the dude in red. It's funny, his APM is like really good. He's really, really quick with it, but he's making some really boneheaded mistakes, you know? He's got to build it 7 tiles back minimum. That way they aren't able to spot it while it's being built, including the second one, you know? That's why I was able to do something about it, is because I saw it happening. If I wasn't prepared for something to come from that side, I wouldn't have been able to build something that was taking care of any of the other siege. And then I would have not had the time to build a castle behind that tower that I built, you know? It's just weird to like, it's funny to see this guy work in such a methodical manner, but also be like that boneheaded about like certain other aspects of it, you know? You know, like, I know to expect some kind of rush, some kind of castle drop, because that's the meta people play by. So I was keeping an eye out. And like I said, he built this thing so close, when if he had built it a few more tiles back, I would have never known about it, and this person never would have known about it. Now, he's probably going to win this specifically because this person... Oh, I keep trying to move my mouse to look at the map. He's probably going to win this just for the fact that this guy doesn't have any, you know, red doesn't have any, you know, red doesn't have any sort of military up, you know? But it's still like, this is why he lost, you know? Yeah, LOL, he needs to make trash units. That's definitely going to help. You know, that's 100% going to help, you know? Even right now, like, yeah, I was going to say, this dude's got to be careful because this dude is a Hail Mary trying to put up a castle, and he's already halfway there. More than halfway there. I keep moving like I'm going to move the screen for him. he is probably gonna not be able to do anything about that castle. There's a good chance that castle's gonna get built, you know? Never mind. He might have it. He might have it. Ooh, yeah. But that was pretty... That was a close one. That was a fucking close one, you know? You know, it's pretty much over now. Like, that's a denied castle. Red lost all that stone. You know, so it just ain't gonna work out for him, you know?
No!
Yeah, he didn't square up to his attack. He just let him in and killed Villies. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, man. Still, though, there's not enough time for him, I don't think. Ooh, yeah. Has ganado. Has ganado. Society. I want to see him. I want to see him click society. I want to see how they were doing with their whatever it's called. Yeah, the castle is definitely not placed very well. You know, if he was gonna build a castle, he could have built a castle behind like if I was gonna do it, I don't even know if it's the best way to go about it, but I would have built the castle behind the TC, because at that point he hadn't really been behind the TC like that, and then in addition to that, he's gonna have to contend with getting around the TC and any vills that I send his way. Damn, that's a pretty cool background, you know. Multijugador. Streaming a streamer stream, pretty much, you know. I want to see what he does. He's back to.
Thank you, bro. Scott. Hola, español, no, me too.
What'd he say? What is this? What? Dude, hold the fucking phone. Oh, this is Hera. This is Hera. I'm pretty sure. This is Hera right here. I could be wrong. His name is Enrique Villanueva, apparently. I'm curious what he's about to do. He looks up gore. He looks up gore or something.
Bro, thank you, bro. Indians.
Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. Oh, hold on. You see what he replied with?
So we have around 14 to 16 farm. Plus 40. 640 click is absolutely perfect. So 5 there, 5 here.
Yeah, he's watching Hera's content.
5 and 5. Perfect opening. I have really good scouting. I know where my opponent's resources are.
And he must understand English then. He must understand English then because he must understand English then because he's listening to Hera speak in English. I want to see what he's been doing for the last. Dude, he has been doing this for 4 hours. He has been doing this for 4 hours. The same, maybe no. Well, not the same exact strat every time though, I guess.
Do not use the wood villagers for this one. Very important. Wood villagers are off.
Damn.
Just go back. Good.
Anyway.
Surgaras. Dios. Suya.
Oh man.
Vámonos.
All right. Hold on. It seems like he's picking. It seems like he's picking his map. It almost seems like he's picking what map he wants to play. That's not. how is that? Is that a mod or something like that? Hold up. No. Again, like
Oh, man.
that's not supposed to be there. It's not supposed to just be like, oh no. Actually, never mind. I think I got it wrong.
Indians.
Cool. So now that we're on the way up to the next age, all we have to do is.
Oh no, never mind. I was wrong about that. He Arabia was selected for him. I thought he selected Arabia. I was like, what? Huh? I didn't realize that he was already in the thing, and he got a pick. He got a match like that quickly, you know. Um, but yeah, I do got to get out of here. Okay. That was interesting. All right, you guys should definitely watch that guy's stuff in the future. Um, I'm all itchy and shit like that. Man, it's fucking annoying. But thank you guys. All right, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you as usual. I will be streaming again on Wednesday, as you know. I'm not exactly sure what time. It's gonna be 8 or 9 p.m. most likely. We'll see about that though. We'll see about that. And yeah. All right. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, peace out.